Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 13th of March. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Qantas, Chalice Mining, Quaria, Ramelius Resources and Paladin Energy. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you've signed up to the free newsletter, but our best recommendations come out on Tuesday in the Dynamic Investor Report. So please make sure you are subscribing to that report. But if you do enjoy these videos, we'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review. Our main business is in portfolio management. So if you think now's the time to get our help with managing your portfolio, then please give me a call. And the advice here is general only. So we've got the daily chart here of Qantas. We could see it's still in an uptrend, but obviously looking vulnerable due to the recent sort of gap down on volume. So big move down, and clearly it's now back to a major support level. So it really needs to hold on to this level. If it can hold on here, it can continue on with its uptrend. But I think if it breaks under these lows, you better move quickly because everyone's looking at that. If it breaks under that, I think you'll see quite a bit of selling. Okay, Chalice. Well, if we start with the weekly, we could see that it's obviously pulled back quite a bit. So this big downtrend. Potentially it's just building a base now. So it's been trading sideways for the past 12 months. If we just zoom back to the daily, I mean, we could see that, you know, since that low about a year ago, it has made what looks like a higher low, sort of, you know, a couple of higher lows, higher highs. So generally, you know, looking okay from that perspective. Short term, you know, it looks like it's consolidating. So it sort of rallied here quite strongly on volume, sort of sold off, bounced back up, eased back. So it looks like this, you know, it's basically doing a sideways consolidation, possibly in a form of a bit of a triangle, and then might be getting ready to break higher again. QRR, so we could see that it's obviously headed higher over the past 12 months. Just looking a bit vulnerable at the moment. So you've got sort of this period here where it, you know, traded in a bit of a range. It sort of tried to break out, came back, had another go, but obviously found some resistance. So clearly there's been a bit of selling up at these levels and it started to let go of the rest of the market. Broken support, not a great sign, but then again, as a positive, you know, yesterday's price action was pretty good. So that's a good looking candle there. And I think that if it can hang at these levels and preferably just get back above this line really quickly, that would be a good sign. But if it starts to turn lower, then we'd say that that's a topping pattern. Ramelius, if we zoom out a couple of years, we could see that it's been trending for a while, since late 2022. It's been trending well. You've got nice moves up, flat consolidation, impulsive move, consolidation, etc. Move ups. Basically, you've got this triangular consolidation, break higher, and then obviously you've got this negative move a couple of days ago. So, you know, that does look ugly, makes it look vulnerable. However, if we're looking at all the peaks and the troughs, it's still holding on to these previous lows. This previous low here near $2. So, you know, that's a negative, but I'd say it hasn't necessarily broken the uptrend. If it does break under $2, that's a negative, but it may well start to hold on here. I don't think it's going to bounce back up in a V shape. So if it's going to resume the uptrend, you might see it spend several weeks just, you know, banging around these sorts of levels before it's ready to head higher again. Now Paladin, so we last looked at this one last month. So off the November low, we had a series of sort of higher highs, higher lows. So, you know, moving up this way. What it's done at the back end of February is break under that previous low, that support point. which preferably would have been your stop. So it's now fallen away, made a new low. No signs yet that it's going to turn around, so you'd say that the risk for the moment is still to the downside, and basically for an entry point you'd be looking at either a similar situation here where it could start to make higher highs and higher lows again, but more conservatively you'd wait for a break, I think, above this January high. So if it can basically get to a point where it starts making higher highs, higher lows, and then break above this high, then you could be a bit more confident that it's getting back into an uptrend. But at the moment, still looking vulnerable in the short term. Okay, well that's all for this week. If you have a request, send it through and we'll try to cover it next Thursday.